Welcome back to the Faith and Focus podcast. I'm your host Laura, religious studies teacher, tutor and your revision partner for all things GCSE and A-level. Whether you're listening in from the classroom, the library or your bedroom floor surrounded by revision notes, I'm so glad that you're here. So segment 1, what's this episode about? So this episode is all about you. This is about your study journey, your revision goals, and how this podcast can support you through every unit, every theme, and every quote. So I just want to take a minute to set out a clear, exciting plan for what's coming up on Faith and Focus. So think of this episode as your RS roadmap, so that you know exactly what to expect, how to use the podcast effectively, and what resources might be coming your way. So let's get into it. Segment 2. So GCSE and A-level schedule. So starting soon, we're going to be working with a strategic interleaved schedule. So this is going to alternate between GCSE and A-level content so that we're hitting everybody who needs it. And it's designed to help you build and maintain your knowledge over time. So here's how it's going to look. So Mondays, we're going to be looking at AQA GCSE religious studies, covering all the key topics from beliefs, practices and themes A to F. Wednesdays, it's going to be OCR A-level religious studies, diving deep into philosophy of religion, religion and ethics, and developments in Christian thought. And then Fridays, it's going to be revision boosters and interviews that are related to what we've been looking at that week. So that's going to include quick recall episodes, model answers, revision drills, and some interviews with scholars and students. So upcoming GCSE topics, we're going to look at nature of God and Christian belief. We're going to look at the afterlife, sin and salvation, pilgrimage to Lourdes and Iona, religion, relationships and families, the role of the church in local and global communities, and all kinds of other things. Upcoming A-level topics, we've got the problem of evil, we've got meta-ethics, conscience, Augustine's teachings on human nature, liberation theology and Karl Marx, feminist theology, pluralism and secularism, just as some ideas. So each episode is going to include clear, student-friendly explanations. It's going to look at key scholars and religious texts. We're going to hopefully look at some model answers using real exam structures, and we're going to look at a practical revision strategy or strategies for you to try. So segment 3, new features. So first of all, every episode is now going to be supported by downloadable revision resources. So this might be quote banks, it might be dual coded summary sheets, it might be Venn diagrams, it might be model answers. It's all there for you to access on the shared Dropbox drive. We're also going to launch a new strand of interview episodes. So this is going to be when I bring in theologians, RS undergrads, lecturers or professionals to talk about the topics that matter. So these are not just going to be general chats. They're going to be grounded in the specification. Each guest is going to help us explore a key topic in depth. So alongside exploring specification content, we're also going to look at some big picture questions like why study theology or RS today, what's it really like to study it at university, and how can religious studies help to shape your career, whether that's a career in law, education, healthcare or social change. So expect some academic insight, some inspiring stories and content relevant to you to help make your notes come alive. If you want more, then you can follow us on Instagram at Faith and Focus Podcast and check the episode description for a link to my free shared Dropbox folder, which is going to be packed with printables for every episode. Segment 4, how to make the most of the podcast. So if you're new to Faith and Focus or you just want to step up your revision game, then here's how to make the most of the stuff that you've got available to you. So number 1, choose your topic. So depending on where you are in your course, depending on where you are in your revision plan, you are going to know which topics you want to target. So pick the episodes that are specific to that. Number 2, download the PDF resources. So that might be key quotes, it might be scholars, it might be model answers, but whatever there is there, then download that to help you. Number 3, listen actively. Don't just sit there and listen, make notes as you go through the podcast. Pause to reflect, quiz yourself, do the things that are suggested in the podcast. Number 4, try the revision strategy. So each episode will have a revision technique that you can use right away. So it will help you if you use that within the content that we've looked at. And then number 5, try using the interleaving effect. So I am going to base my podcast releases around the interleaving effect, which this is about revisiting older episodes every few weeks. So if you start with, in the GCSE, if you start with Christianity, beliefs and teachings, then make sure that in a few weeks you go back to that to make sure that you've got up-to-date knowledge, for example. So if you use the 2, 3, 5, 7 space retrieval method to re-listen and recall content, then it might help you with that interleaving effect. So if you hear something today, go back to it in 2 days, then 3 days, then 5 days, then 7 days, and each time it helps to strengthen your memory. So segment 5, how can you get involved? So if you've got a burning question about a topic, let me know and I'll try to include it in a future episode. If you want to be a guest or suggest a guest or be featured as a student, then please message me on Instagram at Faith and Focus Podcast. If you need one-to-one support, then I am actually a tutor. I work through Tutor Hunt, the website. So just search my name, Laura Giles, and then hopefully we'll be able to work together on that. So that's the journey ahead. GCSE and A-level topics, expert interviews, revision techniques, and downloadable resources, all designed to help you feel confident, capable, and exam ready. Make sure to follow the podcast at Faith and Focus Podcast on Instagram, leave a review if it's helped you, and share it with friends. We're just getting started and I can't wait to go on this journey with you. Thanks for listening. See you next time on Faith and Focus. Bye!